Good morning, Father's House. Thank you, Vince, for that introduction. And I think as worship is such a great expression of what we do at Father's House, I think what I'm going to talk about today is very much an expression of what our church and your church is doing across this city. So I'm not going to stand here today and actually ask you for anything. I'm rather going to tell you what we've been doing outside of Sundays to impact this city. So Leva Foundation started 10 years ago as a direct expression of what Father's House wants to do outside of Sundays. And we came to the conclusion that we want to change people's lives through helping them find a job. There's a 63% youth unemployment at the moment in South Africa. That means that half of the people are not working. It is more common not to work than to work, which just seems really crazy. So we've dedicated a lot of our time and resources to help people enter the economy. Church often takes a lot of heat for not doing enough outside of Sunday. And we understand that many of you, all of you, have very busy lives and are at full capacity already. And so this is what your church is doing in order to impact the city on your behalf. It might seem like I'm showing off today, but it's because I am. And I hope by the end of it, you will also feel like you can show off on behalf of what your church is doing in communities outside of Sunday. There's three things I want to tell you about today, three flagship programs. The first one is Work for a Living. So Work for a Living is how we help people find jobs. We give them the skill sets, we change their mindsets, and we help them to become good employees. This course happens every 3 weeks in Kids Church right behind us. We make sure that we use our buildings, and we have a lot of unemployed youth come through the building. We've had over 1,000 youth come through over the years, and many of them have found employment directly in our city. We also have many phase 2 skills. So first we help them to understand why they need to arrive on time and have a good attitude. And then we help them to actually get the skill sets. We run merchandiser course, cashier, office administration, even graphic design. And those happen in our e-cafe. You'll see in Warehouse 1 where the computers are. During midweek, those are actually people coming to learn how to make sure they can get a job. So the next one is Red Band Barista Academy. Now, Father's House has set up and launched churches across this country, I'm convinced, off the back of really good cappuccinos. And we pride ourselves in this. I think we pour a great cappuccino. Being a barista is a really cool job. So it's something that an unemployed youth really strives to look forward to, and they can really be the heartbeat of a coffee shop. So we really focused on this as one of the key phase 2 skills that someone could get. Over the years, over 400 unemployed youth have come through our program. Many of these have served you a coffee already in this city. Seattle, VDE, Mug and Bean, Wimpy, they all recruit directly from us, and our students are really the stars that shine in their organizations. We had a graduation on Friday, and Seattle literally came to graduation and sat in the graduation because they want to be the first ones to grab those baristas when they qualify. So next time you're having a coffee, ask them if they come from Red Band, and the chances are they'll say they did. The impact has been not just in this city, and this has blown my mind as the years have gone by. In 2018, we launched our first Red Band Barista Academy in Uganda. The same program, reaching the same people, unemployed youth. Many of those people then were recruited to go work in countries like Dubai or Qatar, where they could earn substantially more and then send money back to their families. In 2019, we launched our local Red Band Barista Academy from this church in Cape Town and the city of George. And we were the first ever organization that actually trained currently incarcerated people behind bars and set them up to be able to work once they came out of prison. last year, Red Band Barista Academy won the award for dedication to education in South Africa at the Coffee Awards in South Africa. And earlier this year, Sean and I were invited to speak at the World Coffee Roasters Forum as a keynote speaker in El Salvador to explain and tell people all about the impact we're having in Africa. So all of this is started and coming from your church, from the city of Koberge in Mandela Bay. Now, I want to talk to you about Tangible Africa, which has really become our biggest flagship program. The interesting thing, George and I often smile at each other when we realize how all roads lead back to something that happened at church. Prof. Jean Kreiling from Mandela University, I met him because he attends Father's House. And we were having a conversation about one of his honors students' projects. He believed that this could have huge impact in the community, and I agreed with him. So we said, let's see what we can do and see how your church, our foundation and organization can see if we can make this impact properly on the ground and not just stay an academic program. So what is Tangible? At Tangible, we demystify coding. Tangible is an unplugged, low-cost solution to bridge the digital divide and introduce learners to coding. Just in South Africa, there are 16,000 schools without computers. So this is a solution where we don't need computers and we can help close that digital divide. It's a mobile app game called Rangers. It's fun, it's gamified, and it's a way to engage learners. We've found that kids are so excited about this game that they are playing at break times, after school, on weekends, and I often think we're just tricking them into learning how to do maths and other skills by letting them play on a phone. Okay, so how does this app work? You'll see a few visuals now on the screen. There's a ranger on the screen who needs to move through a maze and catch a poacher before the poacher gets to the rhino. The learners map out with physical tokens and puzzle pieces, and they put that on the desk in front of them. These little physical puzzle pieces are directions: forward, back, left, right. They map out what they think is the solution to catch the poacher. Then they pick up the phone again, take a photo. The phone internalizes the little QR codes on the puzzle pieces, and then you'll see the poacher catch the rhino, the ranger catch the poacher if they have the correct sequence. So a really fun way for young school kids to learn first-year coding concepts, and the jump between the digital phone and the physical tokens really creates a great, fun, interactive way to engage digital technology, but also create spatial awareness and teamwork as people are working together. So, a fun game. This fun game has reached 120,000 learners over the years in South Africa, across all 9 provinces. Our team is growing, and we have regional coordinators in all 9 provinces, particularly and we've pushed into these regions of the rural parts of South Africa, and reached over 1,000 schools with more than 1,000 teachers, particularly because this game doesn't need electricity, it doesn't need data, and it doesn't need a computer. All you need is a very basic smartphone and the app to be downloaded. So we really are able to reach. We've seen kids play it on the side of a road when a bus is broken down, before they go to school at the taxi rank or under a tree. This program has even been accredited by the Department of Education, so that teachers can get their professional points when they do our course. So I've spoken about this on Mandela Day, but now it'll hopefully give you a bit more context. So when learners play this game at school, the top 5 kids from each school get selected, and they will be represent their school at the Mandela Day coding tournament. Now, to give you some context of how this has grown over the years, this year on Mandela Day, we had 16,000 learners compete for their schools on one day, across 600 schools in 70 locations in South Africa. That's a big event. The president of South Africa even joined our tournaments in Tsomo and came and played with the kids. I think sometimes we, in the busyness of life, we don't realize what is coming out of your church from this city. And it hasn't stopped there. We've expanded into 5 African countries: Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Zambia. We've won a couple of international awards for this program. And the innovation has also been recognized in Europe. So this year, between Prof. Jean, Jackson, and myself, we have presented Tangible in Dublin, Rotterdam, Finland, Estonia, and Germany. In June, we officially launched in Ireland, where Jackson trained various master trainers who are now rolling it out at schools in Dublin. A local Eastern-based solution for rural Africa is wanted in Europe and needed in Europe. Last week, we opened and launched Tangible in Germany as well. So this goes further. The game has been modified into be inclusive of the visually impaired and blind as well. So we've modified the tokens to have Braille and to have a blind kit. So they are literally visually impaired and blind kids learning how to code, and we believe that this will help them enter the economy as well. Jackson presented at the Visually Impaired Conference in Africa last week in Kenya, Nairobi, and our local team has just completed, well, they will complete this following week, a 6-week roadshow around South Africa, teaching teachers how to play this game with the visually impaired. So this is all happening from your church in this city without the agenda of Sunday. And I believe that because someone's life has changed, and I reference without the agenda of Sunday, and their life has changed from getting a job and earning money and contributing to their family, that one day they'll look back and realize that the seed that was planted from a church. And God will have watered that seed in His way and in His time so that they will know that their life actually changed. And they'll remember that it was God who made that change in their heart. So I really hope that gives you a bit more context, and you can shout from the hilltops about what your church is doing, and you can be proud of what we're doing from this city. I'll go back to Vince.
Great job, Brian. Great job, Brian.